Hello! Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read of this channel, my channel is James13 Wicca, so on YouTube that's what it should be. I think it's the same thing on Instagram, just to be fair. For this installment, I'm using for the Tarot Astro Matrix. There's the box, and I know that there's a website on here. It's on the back. astromatrix.org. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you're interested. Supportive Oracle cards, Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish, illustrated by Jesse Reish, and the website's at the bottom. I believe it's hayhouse.com. hayhouse.com, yeah. And I also use dice. I use a 22-sided dice for the major arcana. I substitute 22 for 0 for the Fool. And I use a 14-sided dice to choose for the minor arcana, Ace through King, 14 being the King, I want to say. I'm going to say. And then a 4-sided dice to choose the element. Those came from, they were a gift, from mathartfun.com. So I think you can get all those different types of dice there. Feel free to check that out if you're interested. Alright, I think we're set. Alright, so if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. And now, on to your reading. Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Scorpio? What do you got going on here? You're not upset about it, that's for sure. Whatever it is. So, this interesting thing. Yeah, the time hasn't come. The time hasn't come yet. That's why. You're not upset about it. You're waiting. You're waiting. Okay. It's not time yet. Okay, I get that. It's not time yet. You're waiting. I get it. But when's it coming? Now, the situation is a little bit weird. It is a little bit weird. It feels like you've let go, but you haven't. It may even feel like the situation is over, but it's not. How are you going to click into that to know what we're talking about? It's one of those things where you're like, oh, I've already taken care of that. I've already done that. But for some reason, thoughts about other things that could happen with the situation just kind of creep into your brain. And then you're like, no, I'm done with that. I'm not doing that. And you kind of move on from it, and then you catch yourself thinking about, oh, I could do this. No, I'm done with that. It reminds me of like when you help somebody out, maybe like you have a relative that maybe needs some extra assistance, and maybe you help them paint a room just for argument's sake. And you're like, yeah, I've done that. I've helped them. They're good. And then you're like, yeah, I really would like to fix that banister, though. I don't think that would be that complicated. I bet you I could do that. Yeah, I could even... No. I've helped them. I've done that. Somebody else could help them. Okay. And then you kind of move on from it. And then later on, you're like, yeah, I saw this on YouTube, but that wasn't that complicated. All I have to do is borrow somebody else's drill over there and just get a screw in there and just... maybe replace that piece. That doesn't seem like that's that complicated. I can even get somebody to... No, I've already fixed that. I've already helped them. I don't need to help them anymore. And it just keeps creeping back in your brain. That's just an analogy, but it's almost like, I could do it, but I've already done enough for them. It just keeps coming back. And you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. And the thing is, you're on the right path, even though you're fighting yourself. It's not the time to get back involved, but it does seem like you will come back around to this. There's a Scorpio thing, which I think, I could be wrong, let me know in the comments. When you're going to do something, you just do it. It's either you're in it or you're out of it. I feel like that's a Scorpio thing too. Maybe I'm wrong. But it seems like when you think about it, if you want to do it, you just go do it. If you're not going to do it, then you're like, you're not going to do it. You move on. I don't know about biding your time, if you guys do that very often, but you might be biding your time. I don't know if that's a normal thing, but in this situation, you're like talking yourself out of handling stuff. Like you're like, no, I'm done with it. But this is almost like your version of biding your time. It's not the time to do it. This is not the time to get involved. There's a random moment coming up later where the opportunity will be perfect for you. It's just not there right yet. And you've done a lot. You have helped a lot. Whatever this is, you have contributed, and notably contributed, like quite notably is what I'm getting. It's interesting that it keeps like coming in and out, but it's not time to do anything right now. Sometimes Scorpio is very good at just giving that person that carefully worded push, whatever that means for you. Five of Wands, conflict later. Sun card. Yeah, I think Scorpio is good with that, but maybe I'm wrong. But they just give that carefully, I say carefully worded push. I feel like you know exactly what I'm saying. Like you just, sometimes you got to motivate people and just, it comes out of your mouth before you know it and you said what you needed to say and things change. It doesn't have to be a brutal thing, but I feel like if it needs to be, it is. I don't know if you need to do it. You just have that knack. When something needs to be said, sometimes you say it before you realize you said it too, and you're like, "Oh, are they upset?" Well, all right, I guess they are then. I don't know. I don't feel like it's cold. It's just kind of like I wasn't my intention, but I guess if that's what they need, then that's what they need. One of those things. It's not time to move this situation forward yet, but they are kind of they're trying to give you a heads up, kind of like, let yourself think about these things. Just realize it's not time yet. If you can, reposition your thoughts to kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to do that, but if I do, this is what I'm going to do. Kind of have that attitude towards it, kind of like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to fix that banister, but if I do, I can, borrow an electric screwdriver or a drill from this one person, and I can get somebody to fix, to cut a spindle out for me, and I can stick it in there and screw it in. If I do it, that's how I'll do it. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but if I do, that's what I'll do. Allowing yourself that energy instead of just like blocking yourself and fighting yourself, kind of like, I don't think I'm going to do that right now. I don't know if I'll ever do it, but if I do, that's what I'll do. And just kind of letting it go. Your brain is getting the plan set for when it needs to be enacted, which is not now. There's going to be a moment fairly soon where I feel like somebody else is going to step in. Somebody else is going to step in? Okay. Somebody compatible to you. Somebody compatible to you will step into this situation. So I'm using like a relative connection, but like for example, if this was work, kind of like maybe there's been a situation you've been helping with, and you're like, yeah, I have other things I have to do. I'm not going to spend my whole life at work. I've been doing that enough, so I'm not going to do the overtime for now. And every now and then you think about, well, if I was going to do that. No, I've done enough, yeah. But if I was going to, no. Instead of saying no, just go, well, if I end up sucked back in, I'll do that. Or if I get sucked back in, this is how I'll do that. And just let it go, kind of like, I'm not going to do that right now. I don't know if I will, but I'm not going to do that right now. All right, so we're just using that for a reason. Because somebody else is stepping in, and somebody else is like doing the job, and they're compatible to you. Whatever needs to be done, they're doing it. So it's kind of like, oh, somebody else is fixing that banister. Good, it needed to be fixed. That's good. Don't feel like it's not solved. The situation is not solved. It's better if you see it for yourself is what I'm also getting. Because either they're not fixing what you're expecting them to fix, or by them fixing that, they've exposed some other things that need to be fixed. One of the two. Either they're not doing what you thought they were going to do, or by doing that, they're exposing something else that also needs to be done. So the warning here is to not just be like, oh, okay, that's settled, that's taken care of. Your intuition will probably give you a heads up anyway. Your intuition, because like things are improving and you're going to know that things are improving, but it's not, don't completely walk away from it. Don't be like, oh, okay, I guess that's fine and just let it be. They're saying don't do that with this situation. What they're saying to do with it, go in there and inspect it. I'm getting something else. I don't know how this is going to sound, so hopefully it doesn't sound bad. Maybe you kind of want to second guess whoever did whatever they did. I don't know. It does seem like a negative way to put that, but that's the way it's coming through, so I'm rolling with that. Not like you have to second guess them to their face, but like if somebody was supposed to, for example, fix that railing, go visit that relative and make sure it actually is fixed the way it should be fixed. I'm trying not to be rotten, but I can think of somebody, and I'm not going to say who they were supposed to fix something, and it looked like it was fixed, but you put some pressure on it. It wasn't. Mm-mm. It just looked like it was going to be okay, and like fixing something just so it looks, just for posterity's sake or whatever, just so it looks right. That's not fixing it. If you're fixing a railing and you're just making it so it looks nice, versus like making it so it's functional. A railing is supposed to be functional. I'm just saying. So you might want to double check. Doesn't mean people have to know you're double checking. So you might want to go visit that relative and just when nobody's looking, kind of just, does this work? Is this correct? Because you'll find out quickly if it was or not. It's either one of two things. Either they didn't fix what you thought they were going to fix, or they're exposing another problem, something like that. Maybe they did the best they could with it. Maybe they tried to fix it and they're like, oh, there's bigger problems here. So I just made it look good. I can't fix it. I just don't have that skill set. Whatever it is, they're saying take a second guess it. Double check it. Just do yourself that favor. Because if you don't, you'll find out the hard way that it was wrong. And that'll make you even more unhappy than just double check it. Do yourself that favor. Even at that point, though, that is not the time for you to fix the situation. It is not your time. Is that 12? It's 12. We have to get things unstuck. It's the Hanged Man reverse and the Five of Cups reversed. This is going to be the heads up when it's your turn to come in. They're stuck. They're drowning. So if we're going to use that railing analogy, it broke. And now it's not safe for so-and-so to go upstairs because they need the railing. They can't safely get up and down those stairs without that railing. Or if it's a work situation, they're so behind that they're losing money. They need people to help. They need people to step in and start helping. When this moment happens where people are stuck and they're asking for help, they're asking for it. That puts you at the advantage for you to do it your way. Because Scorpio has their own way of doing things. It's success. I see it as all over the place, but successful. Like, you're getting everything done. People around you may have a really hard time following how you're getting it done, but they don't need to follow. You get your success, you get it all done, you'll remember it in whatever order you need to, you'll get it done. But by them asking for you and them really needing you, that puts you at the advantage for you to be able to do it the way you want without error, without problem. And it doesn't give people the time to get in your way. And you don't want them to have time to get in your way. Then you can do it any way you want. You know how to get it done, you got to do it your way. This is your moment to get involved. This is your moment to do it. They're also saying whatever this situation is, it's going to be a piece-by-piece situation. The Two of Pentacles is like long-lasting decisions. That's how I look at it. But when I'm getting it for your reading, and I'm more of an intuitive reader, you want to do it piece by piece. So, for example, say it's a work situation. Let's do that one first. And they want people to do... Say they want people to do 20 hours worth of overtime. They want people to work Saturday and Sunday, 10 hours each day. That's what they want. Because they want you, to do, and you're like, they're on, whatever. You can like angle this to kind of like, what, I'll do 3 hours every day after work. So there's 15 hours. And then I'll do 5 hours on Saturday. You get to angle it whatever way you want. So after normal business hours, I'll do 3 hours after every day, and then I'll come in for 5 hours on Saturday. I can do that. I can't do that 10 hour each day, just for argument's sake. Or, for example, if it's the helping the relative with the railing, you're like, I can't, it's kind of like I'm realizing there's other problems here. And you're like, I can't just do the railing because there's other problems here. So I have to look and inspect the house, and I have to make a list. And I'll show up twice a week for 2 hours every night. Well, twice a week on Tuesday night and Thursday night. And I'll do what I can for those 2 hours. And we'll just keep going at it until it's finished. But there's other things I know I have to fix. So I first have to go through and find my list and go through everything that needs to be done. And then that's how I'm going to do it. And then this is how we'll do it until that's done. It's piece by piece. So it's kind of like maybe you're doing it every Tuesday and Thursday for 2 hours. but it's also like you're doing whatever you need done in the moment, whatever you can do in the moment. Having this pattern is going to bring you this success you need. It's interesting that it's coming through with the Hierophant, because I get that there is some type of set schedule coming in with this situation, but it's more of like, at this time of week for this amount of time. So it's like, for example, Tuesdays and Thursdays for 2 hours at these times. What you're doing during those 2 hours may be different every day, every time you show up, and you might be like, I don't even know what I'm going to do when I get there. I just know I'll do it when I get there. But there might be like a set schedule that's also a part of it. They're saying make a set schedule if you can, and just keep at it and chip away at it. This is a chip away at it situation for the long-term success, the fertility. The fertility makes me feel like there's going to be more and more that comes out of this situation, which should be successful for you. And other people might have to do their part. You might have to add people in. As long as you stick to your schedule and people know that like every Tuesday and Thursday, Scorpio is going to work on this for 2 hours, they'll know to keep up, and they'll be able to keep up. Keep that in mind. Did we get there? So your time isn't here yet. It's not coming until they ask you and they desperately need you. And then when you come in at that point, it goes to your advantage. This needs to go to your advantage for this to truly be successful. And when it does happen, chip away at it, chip away at it, chip away at it. That's it, right? All right. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.